Crafty Nana here. I'm staying with my friend Janet in Farringdon near Exeter, and she is going to be celebrating International Vanilla Day. She produces amazing natural vanilla pastes and vanilla essences, chocolate essences, coffee essences. She has her own vanilla orchards where they grow the vanilla pods, and she is doing an amazing job. She has the Queen's Award. It's just stunning. So she's put a little challenge out to some of her friends that we're all getting together for to celebrate vanilla this year at Bickleigh Castle, and she's put a little competition to see what people could do recycling the empty tubes. Now this tube's an empty tube. I've been cutting them open, cutting off the tops, and cutting them down the sides, cutting them open. I've just been having a little bit of an experiment with them. So on the inside, they're gold, rather lovely gold. And I've just been trying out, I had some plastic pieces that I ridged and I've got sort of fancy patterns on. And I've just been playing about with using these. You open them up, slide your piece of metal into them, and then press the pattern on the plastic into the metal. I've been using a large rolling pin to do that. And I'm just going to see if I could make a little, probably one of my little shrines with the metal over cardboard. Just so happens that David, Janet's partner, just bought some IKEA chairs, and there's loads of cardboard. So I'm going to start chopping into the cardboard and having a go at making something fun and funky. I've cut a piece of cardboard. I've done it so that it will be covered by the width of the tube. I've left a little bit at the top and the bottom because I want to make like a tiara or crown sort of shaped piece at the top, and I want to put a little dangles at the bottom. I just think it makes it more interesting. So this is what we've got now. We've got the two pieces of metal. I've now folded over the edge on this one so it's no longer sharp. I did lose a little bit of my patterning on it, but not too dire. We've got the second piece, so it's two tubes. Then we've got the one piece of cardboard here. So I've left that exactly the width so I can just wrap that around it. Now I'm going to cut, obviously I'm going to cut a hole in this and cut a hole in the cardboard, and then I'm going to put paracetamol box behind it to put the picture into, and I thought I might paint a picture of a vanilla orchid with a vanilla orchid flower, and I might even sort of dangle a vanilla pod from the base, or even might even cover them in the gold metal. We'll see how it goes. You know, with these things you just create as you go along. So I'll get a little bit, I'll cut my holes now, so really that will be about measuring it, and we'll see how we do. So I'm going to cut out this, I'm going to cut out this, then this will be attached behind, the artwork will go inside here, and then the metal work will go on the outside of that. So I have put the tubes, so we started off with the tubes, the empty tubes, and then inside they're all this beautiful gold colour. I've got another smaller tube here that I've just cut open that I might use to cover the door. Now I've just gone through and found some lovely glass cabochons and beads and marbles and things, which I might try and incorporate. And I've opened up the hole. I've got the hole in my box cut, and I think I might even put a little door on it. So that's why I've cut a piece of cardboard slightly smaller than the thing, because once you've wrapped it in the metal it's going to be slightly larger, and I think again we might put a cabochon onto the door. So I asked Janet, the CEO, if she had any interesting bits and she turned up with a whole box full of all sorts of bits and pieces. So now I'm spoilt for choice. I've got all sorts of sparkly bits that I can embed into it, and I'm also, because I can't bear to see things broken, I'm sitting here fixing all the broken bits now. But yes, I've got all sorts of cool stuff that I can embed into my little shrine now. So I'm going to see what works, and then I'll show you how I do it. I've just cut a hole in the back of the tube, And I'm hoping to stretch this round this cabochon here. I think this glass cabochon matches up to the one earring that's lost its partner. Hang on, let's get that in focus. That I think I put on the door of the little shrine. So I'm really working it out as I go along, and then I'll mount it onto there. I'm really needing my hot glue at this point because I want to sort of fix this all down, but that's in my bus. So I'm going to have to wait for my hubby to come back with the bath, and then I shall be able to get it all finished. But I'll try and get as much sort of ready for gluing as I possibly can. Now I'm thinking what I probably need to do is behind this is to put some more metallic, so that, because it looks great on the white, but I think, you know, if I put that onto cardboard, it's going to go very dull. So yeah, you see. So I think what I might need to do is, like, again, cut another little piece of spare and put it behind. So you get that lovely glow. It looks nice with the gold behind. It does make it sort of glow a different colour. Maybe silver might be even better. Let's see if I've got a bit of the silver that I can pop underneath. Yes, silver's good. Silver's good. I've also got to decide what shape this is going to be, and then cut the cardboard at the top of the frame to fit whatever shape, and allowing obviously the edges for it to go over the top as well. It might just have to be a sort of simple point. This will go here, this will go on here, this will come up to here. It's just about at the top, isn't it? How far did I allow for that to go? Ooh, it actually comes over the top. And then I've got to decide what shape this is going to be. Okay, that's good. Now, I don't quite know what I'm going to fix my door panel on with. Again, I would have thought probably hot glue. And do I want to put some patterning on it before I fix my jewel on the front of it? I'm thinking it needs to have something on it. Now, am I going to stick with a similar design, or am I going to do something different? I think I'd like to keep it similar, so I think probably again I would take this little tool here, which again is just the raised plastic border, and just take part of it to press onto this. But I've got to work out what would work. It's a matter of playing with it, isn't it? So I've got to try and get it exactly in the middle. Again, take my wooden rolling pin down. So here we go. Let's try that. Perfect. Now I'm going to go the other side, and again do exactly the same. And you see that? That looks really nice. So that will then have this into the centre of it. And that will look really nice. So that's our door. And as I said, I've cut the door smaller so that once its metal's folded around, it'll still fit. I haven't done one with a door before, so this is a new departure for me, which I'm quite excited to have a go at. So I'm now trying to work out how I'm going to fold the top piece so that it will fit in. But of course, because it's got quite a large cabochon on, I think I'm almost going to have to make it wider than I've originally expected. So I've got some double-sided jelly stuff, which is cool. Yeah. I'm going to stick that down on there, and then I'm going to bring this down over the top of it so it gets to the right position. So I don't want to cover up that little bit of impression there. I've put a bit of silver behind so that the cabochon will have silver behind it, so it won't look quite so dull. I have folded in the sides on the doorway, but it might need another. So I've started to do the door as well, but again I need a little bit more work on that, folding it all around. Obviously it'll be stuck down onto the flap, so you won't see the back of it anyway, so that will be covered, but it does need to be a little bit smoother still, so that will go onto there, and then this will be behind. But I think it looks quite cool. And then I haven't worked out how I'm going to attach this yet, but this will be attached on here. Whoops, 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 whoops. Janet had this pair of earrings which she bought in France, and she lost one of them in her woods. And her woods, she no longer owns the woods because she sold them to expand Little Pod. And so it's a lovely little reminder for her, so I thought it would be really nice to put it on this little door in the middle of the little pod shrine. I have cut out the little pod logo here, and I might incorporate this somewhere. I don't know whether I'll put it at the back or at the front, or but I will put it somewhere. That's the little pod with a little pod vanilla orchid. So I will definitely try and put that in. So I'm now going to try and fold this, but I had to do this from the other side, and then I still got the artwork to do for the thingy. So this is all a little bit tricky because I don't quite know how this is going to work, but we can but try. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a ruler in here, and I'm going to just go right down into here. The thing I'm worried about is that this cabochon might be too big to fit in that space, but I'm hoping it won't. Let's just pop it in there. Oh no, I think that works quite nicely. Now I used a little piece of the silver backing, but I put some washi tape on that had a little bit of copper in it, and I think you can just see a little bit of that copper pattern poking through. But look, you can see that this whole thing is beginning to take shape now. It's beginning to look like a little shrine. We're quite happy with that. So I'm going to work out what I'm going to do next. As I said, I could have a bit of a problem because I might have to wait for the hot glue gun to come to literally assemble it all. But I've got to work out this bottom part, and I've got to paint the painting for the inside, tighten up the door a little bit, although it does fit. Just tighten up the edges a bit. It's difficult when you're using proper metal because you've got to try and get nice neat folds, and it doesn't always want to do. And I'm also going to decide whether I want to put this dingle at the bottom because it does reflect the same colours, the blue and the pink, that are in this one, and it might be quite nice to have this dangling at the bottom. So those are all possibilities. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to fold the top and hold the cabochon in, but it seems to be working quite nicely. I put a little stud earring that was all on its own, but it makes a cute little door handle and works very well with the earring that we're putting on it. So I've just cut open another tube to do the bottom points, and this dangle will go in the middle. I still haven't decided quite where I'm going to put the little pod logo, but there is still time. So I went through my Pinterest last night, and I found quite a nice picture of a vanilla orchid. You quite often see pictures of ordinary orchids with vanilla pods, and then that's not right. The vanilla orchid's a particular flower. They're not as grandiose and intricate as some of the wonderful orchids, but they are what a vanilla orchid looks like. So I wanted to be correct in what I did. These are the actual vanilla pods here, the dried out vanilla pods that we get our flavour from. At the moment, 97% of all vanilla is artificial vanilla that's used. We want it to change so that people are using the real thing. There's lots of people dependent on the vanilla trade for their life, and they're not people that have got a lot of money. They're a lot of people that really need that money coming in, and real vanilla is so much nicer than the fake stuff. Why would you use a petrochemical rather than natural real vanilla? So this is very important, what this little company, Little Pod, are doing to, literally make a change in the world and the way it's using vanilla. So I'm just doing a little watercolour now of the pods, so you can see it here. I'm not going to make it too fancy, but this will go inside, so as it will wrap around the edges, so it has to be a little bit wider, but it'll just be a little glimpse inside. And I'm deciding whether I will make the orchids three-dimensional or whether I'll play with it as I go along. My main problem is that most of my stuff is in my bus, and I haven't got my three-dimensional clay here, so I'll have to see what I can do. The orchids are slowly taking shape. I still haven't decided yet whether I'm going to make them 3D or not. Obviously not the whole of this will fit inside there, so and it will be curved, but I'm also contemplating maybe using some real vanilla pod stuck on, so that you actually, when you open the little door, you get the scent of the vanilla coming out of the little doorway. I think that might be quite a nice touch. I've fixed the door to the paracetamol box. So now I've got to finish off the painting, which is almost done. Then I've got to sit that inside the box and then attach the box onto the back permanently, and finish off these tops and the bottoms. We're getting there. It's beginning to look like a proper shiny shrine. So the bottom's coming along. I've trimmed it. I've just now got to bend it all underneath. The shaping didn't come out so well because obviously I had to double it over, so it's a little bit thick, but at least you've got a little bit of pattern going on there. And it's not the most important bit. I've hung the dangly bit that will pick up the same colours that are in the cabochon at the top and on the door once the door is done. Might have to wait for the hot glue gun for that. So I've very carefully taken the paracetamol box to pieces. So we've got the door on the front, and now it's opened up. So I'm not sure this is quite dry yet because I tried to get a little bit of 3D on there, and I've glued the real vanilla pods because I think that when you open the little door to look inside, you'll get that lovely smell of vanilla hitting you. I've also folded back the little vanilla pod logo on the original tube, and I'm thinking I might put it on the front. You've at least got to give a nod to the company. So I think that would be quite a good idea. So we're really getting to the last stages now. I've got it in there now. This is a much smaller space than the painting I did, but I wanted to come right up the sides. So then it will just be a matter of sticking it on there. And again, I've got to work out what I'm going to use to stick it because I'm using this Gorilla Glue, but it's really not very quick for sticking. See, at home I'd have just used the hot glue, but I haven't got it here. You can see how it's going to look. It's beginning to look as if it's a finished piece. So I had a little bit of the ends of the tubes left over. You see these bits, and I couldn't bear to waste it. So I thought, what can I do with that? So I've just made, with the last bit that I cut out from here, a little dragonfly. So I had some glass nuggets, and I just twisted up the metal. I mean, you could put that on a metal piece and have it in a vase or with your flowers, or you could make a mobile of them, or you could, what else could you do with them? You could do so many things with them. Put a magnet on it, stick it on your fridge, and again, I mean, you could have it the little pod side if you want the silver and black, which is quite cool. In fact, I suspect you could even rub off the writing and just have the silver if you wanted. And I'm quite happy with how the little shrine has turned out. I think it will look nice when it's up on a wall. Very sparkly, and if the light's on it enough. It's a bit dark now. But you look right down inside and you can see the vanilla pods, you can see the vanilla flower, and obviously the smell, because those are real vanilla, you can smell it. Literally the minute you open it, the smell of vanilla comes out. So I think that's actually quite a nice little entry for the vanilla pod vanilla recycling challenge, because I've recycled every single bit except the plastic cap. Now again, one could actually make a little stand for your dragonfly with the plastic cap, I suspect, but I don't think I need to. I'm not sure if I like the plastic bits. I like the metal bits. So there you go. That's my recycle challenge for today. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Any excuse to do arts and crafts, because I love it. Okay, bye for now from the Crafty Nana, and I'll see you again soon. And I am in Little Pod headquarters. Quick flash. And the Little Pod challenge is now being taken back to the Little Podders. So we've taken their own challenge and we're now challenging them. So we've given them a whole load of tubes and bits and pieces, and we're going to make a wreath out of leaves made from the Little Pod tubes that are no longer being used. So they have the printing on one side and gold on the other side. Some of the stuff is I've rubbed it down a little bit to give it a nice sort of like pewtery look, Once we've cut them out, we're going to assemble them together and make ourselves a really cool wreath. I like the ivy leaf, that's good. So Ollie's here having a go. We taught him and he's doing it. He's making all his leaves. And the boss is here. She's making some candle holders. We thought that rather than wasting the lids of the tubes, we could use those to sit little candles in and put leaves around them so they'd match the wreath. I couldn't remember the word then for it. Match the wreath. So she's making some little leaves that we're going to put around those. The only thing that's missing is my hot glue gun, but hopefully my husband's turning up with that about lunchtime and we'll be able to stick it all together. We've got a couple more boys that are going to come and help us, and we should be able to get this done in no time at all. I will be showing you how they're getting on. Oh yes, this is the little tiny tubes. We just curled one of those back for smaller taper candles. We thought that these could then sit into this, and so you could have like two different sizes of candle that would sort of like a double whammy. So that's quite cool. We're just playing. We're playing with it, seeing what we could, how much stuff you can make out of a tube. Quite a lot, it seems. Okay, catch you later.